time. It's time for the Billy Flynn Experience.
Hello to everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Billy Flint Experience. I am Billy Flint. Thanks so much for listening. Oh, this has been a very, very, very interesting week. I don't even know where to begin. Well, we're going to start with the newest or the most current situation that has taken place over, I guess, the day or so. And that is situation with Zac Stacy. I can't believe this. I seen the video. The video was on Instagram. It was in my feed. And of course it was blocked out because it said sensitive, but you know, I didn't read the tagline from the content provider. So I didn't read the tagline or the name of the video, but it was blacked out. It was kind of blurred out, and it said sensitive information or sensitive video. So of course I clicked on it, and I thought, from what I seen, I thought it was just a basic fight between a man and a woman, until I saw that Zac picked up his ex-girlfriend and threw her against the wall, and that's when I stopped the video, because I was like, what the. And I just scrolled past it. I didn't really want to watch it fully because of that split second of what I seen. I just didn't want to. And that's when I went to the other news sources and read the actual story. And I don't know. This is really, really disturbing. But the truth of the matter is that I sat down and I watched the full video because I wanted to actually get the full story, or the visual story, to coincide with what I was reading from different news sources. But I gotta say, this Zac guy just cannot take a break, and no pun intended. He just can't seem to get his life together. His whole professional life was a joke, basically. It's like he was constantly injured, on the bench, starting all the way back to 2013 when he first was drafted by the St. Louis Rams. And of course, that same, well, I don't think it was that same year. It was probably the year after. No, it was that same year. I believe he got a rib injury, and he couldn't play. So of course he only lasted with the Rams for just a year and some months, and then of course he went to New York Jets in 2015, and again he broke his ankle, and they had to waiver him in 2016, which is again another year. And I guess he just pretty much gave up after that, and he retired. But the most shocking thing, was that when I watched the video and I saw how big he was. I mean, he's not really tall. He's like 5'9". It's kind of short for a guy playing in football. But anyways, at the time he was weighing 230, 235. And of course that was some years, that was like maybe I guess, a couple of years ago before he actually left football. So I'm guessing that he gained a lot more weight. So he's fat, out of shape. As opposed to his ex-girlfriend being a very small woman. That's what struck me kind of odd, because it's like the way and the video is online if you want to watch the video. I'm not going to post it, but it's online. And from what I understand, there's 2 videos actually. And this is the good part. She set him up, his ex-girlfriend, Kristen. I don't know my notes. Kristen, what is her last name? Here is Kristen Evans, 32 years old, from Florida. This is where the event took place, or the domestic violence took place. It took place at her home, and she was there with their child. I guess their child's maybe 3 months. It's newly born child, and she was there at home when the recording started. Now, it's not a full recording of how, from start to finish, but it's definitely 2 different vantage points. There's a camera over the front door, and I'm thinking that maybe that's for surveillance, maybe. And then there was another camera on the opposite end of the room, and that where there's 2 different angles of how disturbing this brutal attack was on his ex-girlfriend. It's beyond words. And the narrative has changed, and I know it's going to change, because for the longest, most men have been saying, is this the feminist? They're coming down on the men, the Me Too, and you got clowns, R. Kelly, the baby. I just did a podcast the other day about the baby and his situation. It's just ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And again, like I said, it was 2 cameras. One over the front door, and one on the opposite end of the room. So you got 2 different angles, 2 different vantage points of what took place. And his ass is going to be buried under the jail. There's no way around this one. And it's just very, very sad that this is continuously happening. And I'm glad that she recorded. And she was a Kristen Evans. She was the one, as his ex-girlfriend, she was the one who actually posted on the internet. I don't know whether it was on her Instagram page or maybe her Facebook page. I doubt if it was Facebook, because they probably would have took it down. But it was one of her social media pages where she actually posted the video. And that's how it went viral. But there's, like I said, there's 2 different videos. There's one video that I think most news outlet, that's the one that they have, because that's less brutal. It's still brutal, but the longer video shows Zac actually picking her up and tossing her around that room. It was a very small room. Her place wasn't that big. And he's lifting her up in the air and literally throwing her against the wall like a rag doll, while their child is crying on the couch, on the sofa. And again, I was just doing a podcast about how a toxic environment has the ability to change one's perception of life as they get older based on their environment. Like I said, I just did the podcast maybe a day or 2 ago. But the word, again, is epigenetics. Look it up. And it seems as though a lot of these domestic disturbances are happening around children. It's like, what are people thinking? Really, what are people thinking? I tell you. Well, as I said, she got him. And I'm glad that this is definitely proof. I don't know whether how long has this been going on? She was saying that has been going on since she became pregnant. So again, I think their child is 3 months. So maybe it's probably been going on for more than a year. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe more than a year. Or maybe throughout their relationship. Because like I said, based on the stats of his football career, he didn't do very well. Especially with his injuries. And I know that could have played a part in his behavior. But that's not an excuse. But again, she got him. And I'm glad that the video was posted for all to see. It's very disturbing. And like I said, there's two different videos. There's a short version and then there's a longer version which gives you two different vantage points. Again, there was a camera set over the front door. And then there was a camera set across the room, almost directly in front of the front door. It's like it's set up to where it's like, and she was sitting on the couch or on the sofa when it all happened. So the angle of the cameras is that you can see everything because again, the house looks like it's. They used to call them shotgun houses, where it's just a long room, and then as you go deeper into the house, then the house kind of like has rooms on the side or whatever, but it's a long elongated room where there's a living room, there's a front door, there's a living room, there's a small like little dining room area or dining area, and then there's the kitchen is in the background. But like I said, that there's two different cameras set up, so you got two different vantage points, and it is set up as though she wanted to capture this to make sure she has proof and is not going to go against her word because of the fact that he was an ex-NFL player, football player, a quasi-celebrity. Because like I said, if you look at his stats, he didn't do really that great. He only played for two major teams and they only lasted a year. So, again, it's very disturbing. And I'm looking forward to actually reading more and researching more on this and seeing how this developed. But that is my podcast for tonight. Thank you so much for listening. I wish everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day, rest of the day and rest of the week. And I look forward to being with you again soon. Have a good one.